Print email Facebook Twitter. More Montebello Islands coral and underwater life under threat from rising sea temperatures. Media player, space to play, M to mute, left and right to seek, 00:002:0100:002:01. Marine scientists have confirmed that increasing sea temperatures are changing life at Western Australia's northwest coral reefs. It is almost 70 years since British nuclear testing resulted in 3 atom bombs devastating marine and terrestrial wildlife at the Montebello Islands. Now the remote islands off the Pilbara coast are facing a different kind of threat. Parks and Wildlife Service Marine Program Coordinator Tim Hunt said the Montebello Islands had been recognized because of their exceptional marine biodiversity. The coral communities have been identified as a key ecological value, he said. A research team from the Department of Biodiversity, Conservation and Attractions, DBCA, monitoring coral bleaching has found an increasingly warm ocean is threatening the future of marine ecology at the Montebello Islands. The fact that we do have a lot of coral in different depths within the marine park gives us a good platform from which to monitor species, Mr. Hunt said. Gradual increase in water temperature. After initial surveys in 2006, regular coral and fish surveys have been carried out every 2 years, giving scientists a long-term dataset. 30 years of sea temperature data from satellite and temperature loggers has revealed a gradual increase in water temperature of 0.03% per year. The coral cover that we had in the communities was about 30 to 40% and it's significantly dropped since the mass coral bleaching event of 2012-13, Mr. Hunt said. It's been less than 10% for the last 6 years. Each year the coral in the northwest spawns around the full moon in March. Terracotta tiles are attached to the seafloor at long-term monitoring sites in late February, where spawned coral larvae settles and grows, giving scientists a collection of coral to analyze back in the lab. Because we haven't seen any recovery from the bleaching, we've had the coral tiles put in place for the last 3 years, Mr. Hunt said. The tiles form a clean slate for the coral larvae to settle on. Mr. Hunt said scientists returned to the islands 80 to 90 days later in May to retrieve the tiles. During processing at the lab in Perth, the types of coral species and relative biomass are recorded from each site. That gives us an idea of what coral species are recruiting back into the system, particularly post-bleaching, he said. Scientists are looking for signs that different species may in fact be surviving or adapting to the changing sea temperature conditions. In the summer of 2012-13 in the northwest there was a mass increase in temperature. We had a temperature spike essentially up to 2 degrees more than normal, which stressed the corals and caused them to die, Mr. Hunt said. Large proportion of corals in less than 7 meters of water suffered some form of bleaching. Difference bleaching makes upsetting to see, the Marine Conservation Officer Marissa Spears said she had dived the site before the 2012 bleaching event and described it as a beautiful underwater fairyland. It was really picturesque, a lot of diversity, she said. And then I also dived the site after the bleaching event and it was quite upsetting to see the difference. Mr. Hunt said despite the damage, he was optimistic about managing the coral reef's recovery. We're in this phase of let's try and understand the coral community system here to work out what corals are hopefully bouncing back, he said. We can't do anything about increasing water temperature immediately, but if we can understand how these corals and fish communities work, then we can implement management measures that may help to prolong them, or at least give them that opportunity to bounce back. Researchers will be back next year to continue the study. Print email Facebook Twitter